We're going to take the North and never give it back.
So that's a good pick. You get the corner. I got to go bold, right? I got to go bold for this.
Yeah, she's got some nice.
Welcome back to the Unbearable Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Barron. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're out there on YouTube, and also rate the show 5 stars everywhere that you get your podcast. What is going on, everybody? Hope you're doing well, because the Bears weren't. That was a really bad game out there. I see already out there. Shy Drax, what's good? Yeah, gross. My toast. So, yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be breaking down what we saw today, or lack thereof, out there on the for the game. It was bad. It was nasty. We'll talk about it. And then also on Monday, we'll be breaking tomorrow night at usually around 7:15-ish, 7-ish. Just make sure to hit the subscribe bell, and then you'll know when we go live as we break down the All 22, as we always do on Mondays. But also for those out there on YouTube, my background's changing up a little bit. You'll see it a little bit. We just picked up a piano and other things, so a little bit of stuff going on in the back, so you'll see that changing up a little bit. Also, Taco Man, what is good? Hope you're doing well. So, with that, let's get right into this, and let's just start breaking this down, because overall this game was bad. This game, 38-13, and we talked a little bit about it inside of the preview, where the whole matchup with this is that you typically get a new head coach bump. And we did talk about, hey, how much of a big bump will this be, because we already fired an offensive coordinator. Well, the answer was we did not get a bump at all. And we saw a lot of players out there playing for themselves. And I've heard former players talk about this a lot, where after you fire the head coach, you're not going to get people thinking about the future. You get people more so thinking about themselves. And we saw a lot of that. We saw some people kind of back away from some hits. So I can't wait to watch the tape and see some of those with that. But it was not good. It was not good at all. And when you look at the stats too, just overall 321 passing yards that they had. We had a total of 94 passing yards, 7 sacks. And we had the entire offensive line out there. They didn't have Bosa, but they were able to somehow get 7 sacks. So that's where I really want to watch that back and just be like, okay, who's to blame? Is it the offensive line? Is it Caleb holding onto the ball? Because it did feel like he was holding onto the ball a little bit longer than expected. But when you look at the metrics and the stats, he was holding the ball 2.86 seconds, which isn't bad or isn't long, but it's longer than others. So I really want to watch that, break it down. Are people open? Are people not open? To see what was going on downfield. And also, as per usual, our running game just is non-existent. DeAndre Swift, 14 carries, 38 yards, 2.7 yards a carry. And when you look at the advanced metrics, I've talked about this. Like, when he was fighting and he was going crazy for every single yard, you saw a different DeAndre Swift than what we were typical of seeing. With this, we are seeing the classic DeAndre Swift with a lot of these different pieces, and he continues to have a negative rushing yards over expected, according to Next Gen Stats, -2 rushing yards over expected. This was not a great run defense we were going against. We should have been able to take advantage on the ground, but we just simply have not been able to at all. And also, too, 3 seconds behind the line of scrimmage was what DeAndre Swift was doing in the backfield. Not great stuff, and just bad. Just this entire running game, just don't even try to get it going. But yeah, they got theirs going as people typically do. Garendo was averaging 5.2 yards a carry. So, you look at it overall and it says 3.9, but really what was going on was Garendo getting over 5 yards a carry, and this is their third string running back, and they're able to do stuff like this. And that's ultimately where this game just was not good, was not pretty, was not fun to watch, and quite frankly, it was difficult to watch. And actually, my family and I was watching it with a bunch of my brothers and, all sorts of people, and we're like, should we just, and I got there a little late. Like, I had to watch the first half at my place, go over there with my family. And I'm like, so what's going on? They're like, we've decided that we all have to support new teams. so they're randomizing new teams. We're like, all right, we can't support the Bears anymore because this is how bad it's getting. Because it is. It's frustrating. It's annoying because we watch the same crap, and this wasn't even good. This wasn't even good. And we're hoping for something different, hoping for something, and they just completely fell out flat. And so let's turn a little bit and let's talk about the inactives. Tyler Scott, again, inactive. Yet again, they don't see him as a wide receiver. They don't want him out there. So healthy scratch. Same thing with Larry Borum, which honestly I like, because then you have at least Amagaji out there. You have Larry Borum on the bench because, hey, Larry's not going to be in the future of this team. It's going to be Amagaji. So I honestly really like that because, yeah, you're not really playing for a playoff spot. And Borum, when he was out there, looked really bad. So why not just have the rookie out there if anything goes bad? Elijah Hicks was out, Amir Speed, Dominique Robinson, Ryan Bates, and Roshan Johnson. But let's flip over to this offense and talk a little bit more. Because also Taco Man saying Jags won without Lawrence. Exactly. Right? This entire team is bad. And Drax, yeah, Braxton looked real bad. It was not good. Because when you look at the offense, you have to just take a gander at their defense, with Leonard Floyd getting 2 sacks, Collins with 1 sack, and Yuder Gross-Matos with 3 sacks. Not good. Not good at all. And I even had the stat of, I should have actually copied this. With the entire offensive line, Yuder Gross-Matos was always close to the quarterback, always getting home. And yeah, it looks like it's all on Braxton Jones for that. Darnell Wright, I saw, was already the highest graded player from this game, according to PFF. So Darnell Wright doing a good job. But yeah, Braxton struggling right there, going against, yet again, speed and just getting beat on that. But overall with the offense, we were already kind of talking about it a little bit more that I can just kind of throw out to it is, like I said, DeAndre Swift has not been making things better, but this blocking scheme is also very bad. The system's bad. The running back has been bad. It's been bad. and that's what ultimately ends up happening. It's just not, it's not pretty. We should just burn all the run plays, right? The way that we're running the football right now, 2.7 yards a carry for DeAndre Swift. Just get rid of the playbook. Just get rid of the entire thing from the running plays, because none of them work. None of them work, except if you do read options. That's it. AKA Caleb running it, not DeAndre Swift. It's not been pretty. And then also, too, you flip over to the passing plays, getting sacked. And this is where it's just the entire season is, we know what's going on. And actually, the best thing that happened is Tankathon, because the Bears right now have a top 10 pick. So there we go. We get some claps. We got the number 9 pick so far, according to NFL's Tankathon. So yet again, the Bears are in a very difficult situation because we have one of the most difficult strengths of schedule. So we're the only 4-9 team. We're the only 4-win team right now, except for the Bengals. Bengals still have yet to play at this time. But lots of 3-win teams ahead of us. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams ahead of us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, there's 6. So yeah, 6 ahead of us that are 3-win teams. So hopefully they continue to win, and then we start to lose a little bit more. We can start to sneak on up there. But honestly, we just have to survive, and it's just, you could tell people don't want to be out there. Speaking of that, DJ Moore, 6 receptions, 49 yards. Rome, 4 catches, 42 yards. Keenan Allen, 3 catches, 30 yards. And Travis Homer, 3 catches for 11 yards. It just wasn't good. And here's the thing, Caleb, 17 of 23. That's not bad. He was still 0 for 2 past 20 yards. So those deep passes, still a big time struggle for him. His QB rating was 116, but it's overall, he did not have a good game. This was not a good game from Caleb. But then also the offensive line, like we said, particularly Braxton Jones, appears that it just hasn't been good. And that's the thing. It's just the entire system, and it's not good. It's not good. And I see Drax out there. I said gross, so I got a drink. I actually did not grab anything next to me right now. So I'll have to be for tomorrow for sure. But yeah, they have to really overhaul things. And we've talked about this too. What if Thomas Brown came in and this team turned it around? We haven't. And I think a lot of this too, like when we watched the tape, like we said, some of it is just Caleb not making the pass. The wide receivers weren't getting open. The line isn't blocking properly. Then on the defense, they're simply not getting to the quarterback, right? There's many different things that were going out there. And I've said it myself with this defense. Like, and actually, let's flip over to the defense because we talked about this. I'm like, Matt Eberflus, for all intents and purposes, is a good defensive play caller. I know some people are going to be like, blah, blah, blah. I don't like that. It's like, well, sorry. But he has been. And like with this, because then when you saw the team stop trying, then you saw the defense struggle more. Because you did see when he wasn't the play caller and Alan Williams was in charge, this was literally the worst defense. And then he took over last year, and then this defense turned around. Even before Montez Sweat, it was looking a lot better. And then now you saw just like people kind of giving up. And now you have a worse play caller, and the defense is still not trying. They're still like, oh man, we actually have to try out there. What are we trying to do? And you could just tell it was just bad. It was not good at all. And you don't really have like a true superstar. Like Jalen Johnson is a star, but I don't think that he's still like, if you ask people who the best corner in the league is, people aren't just going to say, oh, Jalen for sure. Right? Like, no, he's not there yet. He's phenomenal. But it's this defense just neat. Like when I bring up superstars, it's that the identity of this defense, the face of the defense. Who's the face of the defense? Montez Sweat, he wasn't even the face of the Washington Commanders defense. Like I've always said, he's a good player, really good player. But you need that superstar. You need that person that is the Urlacher, that is the face of this defense that can look at everybody and be like, we aren't going to play that way. We are not going to, like, it's inexcusable because when you have a player like that, it brings everybody else up. Quite frankly, like we've said, Montez is banged up. Like, he's not in a position to be like, hey, all you guys, what are we doing? Right? But this defense just got absolutely wrecked. And you look at the stats. It's just awful. 325 passing yards. Brock Purdy was 20 of 25. And George Kittle, 6 targets, 6 catches, 151 yards. Juwan Jennings, 7 catches for 90 yards. Deebo Samuel, 2 catches for 22 yards. So there's that. But like we said, Deebo looks like he's gained weight. He does not look like the same Deebo. But the 2 main people that they had out there, they beat you. They whooped you. And it's just the defense not playing well. And then also we also see Javon Dexter go down with an injury. I just hope that he's all okay. I hope that it's just like a minor thing at all because he's had such an outstanding season. But obviously now with him out, this defense is going to definitely get a lot worse. So we just have to monitor that to see what exactly comes of that. Well, at least when you look at the stats, at least Zach Pickens got 5 tackles, right? The stats look good, but we'll have to watch the tape. You know, TJ Edwards, 1 sack, 10 tackles. But overall, this defense, not great. Drax, yeah. Tremaine Edmonds, it's that thing. I know that they wanted to bring him in as the guy, as the piece. But yet again, when you have somebody that pops for 1 year, typically, that's not the year, right? That's not what they ultimately are. So, yeah, it's crappy. And speaking of that, let's just go over to special teams. Santos, 1 extra point made. Blackwell, I actually really liked his punt return that he had. DeAndre Carter got banged up on the first kick return. Torrey Taylor, again, 6 punts, 2 inside the 20. Average of 52 yards, not bad at all. But still, it's just like, it's not this game-changing punter. And also, how much is a game-changing punter actually going to help when your defense isn't doing well and your offense isn't doing well? So let's just wrap this thing up. Like, I know a lot of this, we're just kind of little frazzled, little fried with the Bears, but we'll continue to cover them. We'll watch the tape tomorrow. But I want us to just break down who's the most valuable Bear for this game, because these games are hard to watch. Who's the most valuable Bear? Because I have one. Because let's break it down. If we're looking for who had the best game, Caleb, not great. But yet again, no one was great. DeAndre Swift definitely can't be with 2.7 yards a carry. You look at it, DJ Moore maybe with 6 catches for 49 yards. Rome had 2 touchdowns. Rome could definitely be the Bear of the game. 4 catches. And actually, yeah, I think that is actually going to be it, because you look at the defense. No, it felt like nobody on the defense. TJ Edwards seemed like he was having a pretty good game. We'll have to see what the actual tape says, but 2 tackle for losses, 1 sack. I think he's up there. So yeah, I agree with Shy, because who I was going to say was I was going to be a smart aleck about it and say Matt Eberflus. Because Matt Eberflus probably right now is on the beach in the Bahamas or something, sipping on some pina coladas going, hey, what was the score of the Bears game? Oh, they gave up 38 points without me? just laugh, sipping pina coladas. That's probably what he was doing right there. It's just like, all right, what was that? Okay, I'll just go back to making millions of dollars now without even actually having to work, right? The dream. He gets to live that now. But yeah, the defense didn't come into play. Offense didn't come into play. And yeah, I think if we're actually giving it to players, we always say there's like 2. Yeah, like what Taco Man's saying. TJ, I think, is like the runner-up. But Rome, I agree with you, Drax. Like, you got Rome with 2 touchdowns. And also, too, the thing that I respect about Rome and what you're seeing right now is who actually wants to play. And to me, it's like, I forgot the meme, but it's like when all this stuff is happening and you just see the person running like crazy, and then you just see people on the sidelines just like relaxing, just chill. Like, that's what it feels like. Like, Caleb is running around for his life, trying to get some yards and trying to do something. And then you just see like DJ or even like Keenan, they're just kind of like standing there. Cole's not look good at all. I kind of want to pull, since he's had his podcast, what's happened, because the dude, 0 targets for him. And we've talked about this when we watched the tape. He's not been blocking well at all. Like, he's been a very poor blocker. His play seriously has dipped. So I kind of want to like pull his PFF grades like since then, because it does seem like a coincidence that his play started to drop. But I honestly love his show though too. I'm a listener, and if you haven't listened to it, definitely check it out. It's actually really good. But still, if it affects his play, then he needs to drop it and not do it anymore. But yeah, ultimately the player of the game, we're gonna give it to Rome. And Matt Eberflus, just keep sipping those Mai Tais and just do you. But this just kind of capitalizes it. I think just to like overall group it together, we were curious about what this would happen. Now, they could still pull it together and be competitive for some of these games and maybe even win one. But I think what you really saw today is something that kind of pushes to this where, maybe Thomas Brown, he's a good people leader. But right now, when someone's gone, they're going to be playing for themselves. And right now we saw that, and it ultimately ended in 38-13. So all that I hope is that Caleb, Rome, those young players that you can build with, just look at the light at the end of the tunnel. We have 13 games that we've played. We're 0-6 away. We cannot win away from home. But we'll just have to see. We have to grind it out. But also, we will have you covered, though, with everything. So make sure to like and subscribe if you're out there on YouTube. Also, you can download the podcast. Did you know that? Everywhere you get your podcast, just search for Unbearable Sports and rate 5 stars out there. With that, see y'all tomorrow as we break down the tape live on YouTube at 7:15. But with that, have a great night. Unbearable Sports Podcast, we are out.
Yeah, she's got some nice long hair, and you know that she's a bride.